On some occasions, we might desire that our images have a certain dreamy and unrealistic intent, a mood more connected to the immaterial, a certain expression of calmness, mysticism, and silence, where the photograph seems to be more a piece of the artist's dreams and ideas rather than a depiction of a real place or subject. Now, normally this kind of pictorialist, nostalgic, or timeless mood is achieved during post-processing with overall tonal values that are frequently low-key, then global contrast that is low, rich tonal separation in the shadows, also in the midtones and in the highlights, with soft tones gradations in the whole tonal range, then color saturation that is very low in color images or even monochromatic images, then color contrast that is kept very low. That means that we don't have too much warm and cool kind of colors contrasting with each other in the image, and depth which is medium to high. Normally the format and orientation is kind of an intimate format, and the sharpness levels are kept quite low, with frequently out of focus areas or a little bit of grain added to the image, effects that render the images soft and delicate. So now we're going to post-process these photographs, an example of this pictorialist and nostalgic kind of timeless mood. I'm going to start with a reframing of the photograph. Basically, the composition here was made in a way so that this stone man here was going to be the main focal point of the photograph. I was waiting for the rain just to fall on this piece of rock, and then I composed in a way that the hill in the distance and even the clouds are kind of following the landscape and leading the eye towards this pinnacle here in the middle of the frame. The beach and the ocean was a distraction, and during the field composition it was decided that this was going to leave the frame during post-processing. So I'm going to reframe that like this. I'm going to also kill this distraction. This is a certain change of direction here. It was included in the frame because otherwise here there were some other distractions. So it was in any case planned to be cropped like this during post-processing. There are certain things here that bother me a little bit. For instance, this area is too bright, so it's attracting the eye too much. What I want the eye to look at is the rain falling on this rock pinnacle here. So we want to reduce slightly the contrast and the luminosity of this area, and then focus here, increasing the clarity, that is the sense of detail. Maybe I'm going to darken also the base to give more stability to the image, reduce a little bit the detail and the contrast, but darkening the shadows. And then also darken slightly this band of sky so that the eye is kept inside of the frame, mostly here. So I'm going to start that by using a graduated filter for the sky. I'm going to reduce the midtones, mostly the highlights, increase the contrast, and increase the clarity. This kind of combo normally what achieves is bringing more density, drama, and detail, but at the same time keeping the tones slightly in the low key. So you see how now I can see much better the rain falling on the landscape. Then I can do a second one just for the top. And what I'm doing is, you see, creating like one band, 2, 3, kind of layering of tones in the image.